We're live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a Handy Quilter Live this afternoon. Welcome back to the Quilting Bee. I've got my friend Garla here quilting with me.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm Kim Sandberg. I'm the education manager here at Handy Quilter, and we are talking all things custom quilting. If you are just joining us this afternoon, welcome. If you tuned in this morning, we just want to remind you once again that you can rewatch both the live from this morning and the live from this afternoon on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching through Facebook and you want to find us on YouTube, just go to YouTube and search for Handy Quilter, find the Handy Quilter channel. And then there's different tabs across the top. You'll just click on the one that says live, and the Quilting Bee lives, there's going to be two of them, will live there. We have the morning session and the afternoon session. So just a reminder, you will definitely be able to watch this later. Not a problem at all. All right, let's take care of a little bit of business. So first of all, we just want to remind you guys that we've got some really fantastic promos going on right now. We always do our very best pricing of the year at the Houston Festival Quilt Show. And that just wrapped up, and we're continuing that special for a little bit longer. So if you are interested in purchasing a machine, we've got you covered. Be sure to reach out to your local retailer, or you can email hqcares@handyquilter.com with questions, especially if you're interested in trading up a current machine for something new. So be sure to reach out to us for that. We also just want to remind you that this afternoon we're doing our two very big giveaways. These were entered during Houston Festival. So people entered to win. You gave us your email, contact info. We already have our winners. As a matter of fact, they're on the board over here. We can see them. And we're going to be giving those away a little bit later during this segment. So be sure to stick around for that. So Garla, we are doing all things bee quilts today, right?
Bee quilts. But don't forget, we have another giveaway.
We do. That's exactly right.
What's the buzz?
So the buzz is we're going to be giving away a $200 gift card this afternoon. So for anybody that comments with hashtag HQBuzz, BUZZ, make sure it's all one word, HQBuzz, hashtag HQBuzz. Be sure and comment with that, and you'll be entered into that drawing. And we're giving away a $200 gift card. So we'll be periodically reminding you about that. They'll be popping that up on the screen, and we'll be doing that. So we're giving away a lot of stuff this afternoon.
Get your wish list ready.
No, seriously, ready to go. So let's revisit a little bit of what we did this morning. So we talked about the ideas of how do I quilt a custom quilt,
Yeah,
right? And
you really laid it out into a step-by-step process, which was very helpful for my analytical brain.
Oh, good. And we shared with you guys, which we will email out to everybody, a great worksheet that we have that's called How Do I Quilt It? And it's got all kinds of questions just to help you think about how you're going to use the quilt, who it's intended for, what you're trying to emphasize or hide, all of those kind of things. It's got some great tips in it to help you build your own quilting committee, to help you when you're deciding how to custom quilt or just even finishing a quilt. This morning we quilted. So Garla made, this is the quilt that we're testing out designs for. It's called Honey to the Soul by Coach House Designs. And this is a kit that you purchased from Shabby Fabrics, shabbyfabrics.com. And you swapped out though and did a lighter color in the background. Right. It had a black in the background, and you wanted to have the white because white is fantastic to quilt on.
Yes.
If you really want your quilting to show. And what you've done is you've made a mock-up of it, and that's what we're actually quilting on. So this is kind of fun because we're getting to like try it out, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm actually like, oh God, I think this is a great idea. I know that sometimes when I make a quilt and I want to custom quilt it, I will, especially sometimes you make a quilt and it has extra blocks anyway. You get done and you're like, oh God, I made 6 more blocks than I needed to.
Right.
But this is a great thing to do, is to just load them and try out designs on them, try out thread on them. It's a great way to audition everything.
Yeah.
So this morning we started out, we did some basting. We talked about using mark. What we've got that we quilted out here is we quilted out one of the designs. We showed you guys how to quilt channels, and then how to do these piano keys in the around the outside border. what we're going to move on to now is, so we really focused on Pro Stitcher this morning. We're going to move over and do this next block, and I'm going to show you some tips on how to do it with free motion. So
Perfect.
we're going to start off by putting the ruler base on the machine, because
Okay.
we're going to be using a ruler to get some of this straight stitching done. So we're going to pull the machine over here to the side, and I am just going to pop this ruler base right on there. And just put that on there. And I switched out this morning. I had my glide foot on, and I now have the Surefoot on here because I am going to be using rulers. I want to be sure and have that. And we also made a switch on the thread. So this morning we were using this thread. It's Magnifico. And you can see that it's a little bit of a heavier thread. It's a 40 weight. And it's got this nice sheen to it. I actually think it looks really cool on the white.
I
It's
do
kinda
like
fun,
it.
huh?
Yeah.
This afternoon, we're going to play around with some other threads. So the thread that we loaded is basically the same color, but this is so fine, and it's a 50 weight thread. So it's a little bit lighter, and we're going to contrast between the two. We're going to be able to see the difference in how much it shows up here. So you can kind of get an idea for that.
So the higher the number, the thinner the thread.
That is correct.
Okay,
that is correct.
That's just, yeah.
That's just the way it is. And then we've got these other two threads that I want to be sure and play around with this afternoon, because I think that these two especially are really good options for you.
Yes.
On this quilt. This is Micro Quilter, and it's a light yellow, but trust me, when you start putting it on, and Colin, I keep trying to grab that. When you put it on here, you're going to hardly even notice that it's yellow. It just melts into the fabric.
Just disappears.
And then we've got good old monopoly, that clear thread. We talked about this so much this morning. I feel like we're obligated to do some quilting with this to show everybody. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff over here.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple of different rulers that I'm going to use. So I've got the HQ Skinny ruler.
We like that one.
And this is my go-to straight ruler that I use all the time. I love it because it fits well in my hand and it's easy for me to move around. So for longer stitch in the ditch, things like that, this is really great for.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show you guys how to do these little piano keys. And I really love to do these with the Baby Grand. Once again, it's small. It fits in my hand.
Baby Grand for the keys?
I know, for the piano keys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you like that? You like
that's easy to remember.
Okay. So one of the things I want to show you guys is how I really do quilt in real life. So I absolutely, when I'm doing stuff like this, I am sitting down. So Garla and I are both sitting down on stools here, and you got to have, a chair that you can roll around on, do a little bit of movement. And then we are also going to, which I showed you guys over here, we did some of it after the fact, but we're going to go ahead and pull out some of this basting. So once again, I'm just going to clip the thread.
Pull out a few.
I'll pull out a few.
Hold
and then I lift this, I pull it up until I can just see my bobbin thread popping up. And then you clip it, and then you can pull it out from the top and the bottom.
Now, will that work for when you make a mistake as well?
Yeah. Well,
and you have to pick out like,
so
10 per inch? Or?
This really, it only works with the larger stitches.
Okay, so that's only for basting.
Yeah, it really only works with basting. But you can see here that I'm able to leave the basting stitches in here and only take them out where I'm going to be stitching. So just a little, I'm keeping it stabilized here, but I'm pulling out the stitching here. Oh, and you can see on that one, I didn't quite, there we go. Okay, I got it.
Wow.
So
what's an excellent trick.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Pull that out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So what I want to start with here is doing, so remember last time we created this channel. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to show you how to do it with rulers using free motion. So one of the first,
and point out that we're now moved to 100% high loft polyester.
Yes.
And that's going to make a difference too.
It is. It's going to be really interesting to see the difference. We're also going to stitch a block in the center of this that's less dense.
Yes.
So this is going to be interesting to look at the difference between the two, but you can see that I've got that much more poof. And this one here that we just quilted, remember that we had 100% cotton, and then we had a layer of bamboo. And it is interesting. You can even see, it might be a little bit hard for you guys to see, but you can see the difference in the loft. The 100% cotton has more loft than the bamboo does. Can you see that?
And you can also see the white stand out over the cream. Good to know if you're doing a white quilt.
Yes.
You're going to want to stick with a white batting.
Yep. Absolutely. It makes a difference. Okay, so one of the things that I am going to do here, because I am going to be free motion quilting, and I'm going to get this up here and try to keep this out of the way for you guys so that you guys can see what I'm doing, because we have the camera coming in this way. So I am adjusting the handlebars, and I'm going to show you guys. So when I do rulers, I like to adjust my right handlebar. I am right-handed. So I hold the ruler with my left hand, and I have my right hand here, and I like to turn it like this. Me, like a lot of other quilters, I've already had one carpal tunnel surgery, and my hands, if I keep them actually turned in and relaxed more at this kind of an angle, I can quilt for longer throughout the day. My hands don't get as tired.
So
that's for me personally. Yep.
Changing the handles lets you quilt longer.
Yes.
So what a beauty that they can
it really
adjust.
Is. It really is. We have a question.
Back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of scary the way the quilt pushes and wiggles. Makes me nervous. How tight does the quilt have to be?
Okay, so we're getting some questions about how much the quilt is wiggling and whatever. So you want the quilt to be, you want to be able to put your finger underneath the quilt, and you want to be able to grab down to your first knuckle. So this quilt is just fine the way it is.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, because really all that matters is right there around the needle. It's okay. Part of the reason why you're seeing a lot of drape here, or kind of that swoop, is because I have my ruler base on here.
Yeah.
And so it's more pronounced. But I need that ruler base on there to be safe while I am stitching with rulers.
Lose the fear. Get friends with your machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be friends with them.
So what I'm going to do is, if we take a look at the screen, I have got my Amara console up here, and I'm going to make some adjustments that I always make when I'm using rulers. I am going to turn it so that anytime I stop stitching, my needle is in the down position. That way I don't get any wiggles or wobbles while I'm stopping and repositioning a ruler.
Okay.
I have it set on cruise at 25, which is a very low cruise. That's what I like to use. And I've got 12 stitches per inch, which is great. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to go into Pro Stitcher, and I'm going to disengage my gears, because I don't want to be fighting those gears when I'm trying to do free motion quilting. They are. So I'm going to start with my needle in the down position.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is I'm going to go through here, and I am going to just stitch in the ditch.
Okay.
And
the
then
challenge is on.
The challenge is on. Oh, and this is where you guys get to see the really fun thing. I am going to put on my glasses so I can see what the heck I'm doing.
So another thing I learned from you, you can keep going and stitching, is I learned that, so I was taught that you need to open all your seams and iron them flat.
Right.
Because a long arm needs to have that smooth surface. But the truth is, a long arm can go over any of your seams no matter what you do. But if you're planning to do stitch in the ditch, you're probably going to iron to the dark.
Yep.
Because then you've got that ridge for your long arm to catch on as you go.
Exactly. You want to have a ditch to stitch in. And you do not have a ditch to stitch in if you're opening up your seams. So you want to always press to one side or the other, and then you stitch just to the side of that seam. So you stitch on the side that does not have the double seam, and then it just melts into that space. So you guys can see this here.
And it is stitching slow.
Yes.
So you can stay in control.
It's not fast, but you can see how that just
pretty amazing.
Are you seeing the difference in the thread here that's a little heavier, and this thread here?
I'm kind of liking the thinner thread.
It's making it's melting into it even more.
Even using the exact same color.
Yep.
So it depends what your purpose is. Do you want the stitches to ride on the top of your fabric, or do you want them to dissolve? Question in the back.
It's not hard. It's not hard to keep the ruler in place, because I am making sure that I don't stitch farther than my hand is holding it in place. You guys can see here, as I get to the end of where my fingers are, I pause and then I move my ruler. The ruler, because I've got this ruler base underneath it, it stays in place. It really does. Okay, so I've got that initial stitch in the ditch done. And now what I want to do is I want to come in a 1/2 inch
and do your channel.
And do, yeah. So this is one of the cool things about these rulers. They've got the markings on them at there's a marking every 1/4 of an inch, but you have to remember, so this first line actually says a 1/2 inch.
Because that's where you're going to put the line on your surface.
Exactly. Because I am snugging this ruler up to the edge of the foot, and the edge of the foot is a 1/4 inch away from where it's stitching. So I am going to line up the seam that or the line that I just quilted on that first 1/2 inch line.
Wow.
And then I will be stitching a 1/2 inch away. And what I'm going to do is just lift my thread up, and I mean lift my needle up, and I'm going to line up right
and
there.
Trim that thread later.
Yep, and then I'll trim that thread later.
Are you going to do a tie down?
Yep. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called locking. I'm just holding my needle down, needle up a couple of times and letting it stitch.
Did you see how she did that? She just held the needle down up and it went up and down a few times while she held the machine in place.
Exactly. So I'm going to stitch down to there, and then I'm going to adjust. And once again, I don't want to stitch farther than my hand. And you can see that I just did that nice channel there. So easy to do with rulers. I might even convince you, Garla.
Yeah, I do like rulers. Rulers are because they're straight.
Well, and there's a lot of precision when you use rulers. And once again, remember that rulers are not fast.
And I love the technique that you said, keep your hand and only work where your hand is, because that's holding your ruler. Because I've noticed that when I started rulers, if I went past my hand, I had the many times the ruler would slip.
Yes, yes. You can rock your ruler, end up with it not being quite where you want it to be. So
okay.
And you're
guys eyeing this one.
I am. Hey, as quilters, we know that 1/4 inch. I know about where it's going to end up. And one thing to note, you guys will note that I'm pretty much sitting while I'm doing this the whole time. I am tall. I have long arms.
Yes, you do.
It's easy for me to sit while I'm doing this. I know a lot of people, they struggle to sit while doing rulers. Don't feel like just because that's the way I do it that you need to.
Okay, another helpful thing when you're doing rulers is instead of being standard view, move your machine to clear view.
Yes.
And then you don't have this bulk that you're leaning over the top of as well.
Exactly. It positions it a little bit differently. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we just did channels. There's 2 different ways to do channels there. I think our channels actually look pretty equal.
Oh, I think this one's better.
I bumped over here and we ended up with a few little squiggles.
No, but yeah.
This one, rulers definitely give you a really nice level of precision.
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you guys, because I want to do the free motion while I'm here. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how to do piano keys across here. Okay, across the top.
Now I'm going to give you a challenge.
Yeah.
Can you do
a corner? Yeah,
the corner
absolutely.
And do it? Yes, I knew she could.
Can. Yes, I can. Okay, so one of the things, I'm going to use this baby grand ruler, and one of the things it's got, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this, but on the end here, I've actually got some angle lines. There you go. If I do that, can you guys see the lines there? So I'm going to be able to line those up. Use those to line up and do a little bit here. So what I'll do is I'll do one here, and then I'll do one to the middle, and then I'll do one straight up.
That's
correct. Some of the different ways that we could do this is I could actually mark. I could do a little mark right there. I could measure it and mark it if I wanted to be really precise.
You mean with an erasable?
Yeah, yeah. I could use
water soluble.
A handy, yeah, exactly.
Well, the handy quilter markers, will they show on this white?
So the iron off pencils on the white, if you want to use them, if you use a black light, they will show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need a black light added to my sewing room now as well.
We've got all the different options. Okay, so I'm going to start up here in the corner.
Okay, she's pulled up her thread.
And we'll go ahead and try to keep my hands out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing here. We'll do a locking stitch. And we'll start with it down there. And then I'm going to go to the corner. And I like to, because I'm doing this smaller, shorter, I'm not quilting as far. It's one of the reasons why I prefer this over the longer ruler. There's just less to move around as I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to come to the corner, And then I'm going to tilt this over and I'm going to go up to there. And then this is where I'm going to use that ditch to stitch back over. So I stitched in the ditch there a little bit, and then I'm going to come down. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move over and we're going to do a 1/4 inch, and then we're going to travel in the ditch and 1/4 inch and come down, travel, 1/4 inch, travel, 1/4 inch. And what we're doing here, what I'm doing here is I am stitching straight across until the end of my foot is lined up with the stitching that I just did, the back side of the foot, and then I scoot the ruler over. So this is the way that you can get, and you guys talking while quilting, I should have Garla narrating here for me.
I'm just, do you see my mouth open like a fish over here? I'm like, wow, this is so cool.
This is, it's slow and steady, but it gets very like zen and methodical. But this is how you can do piano keys, free motion. And you can see as you do it more, you just kind of get in that zen and you go for it.
And your measurements look fabulous.
Well, using the end, I just line up the end of the foot, the back side of the foot, and then I move over the ruler so that the edge of the ruler is right where I just stitched.
Right, and we're not having the problem of how dense is this line, 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 because you're in control.
Yes, yes, I am. So the thing that's going to be interesting, though, is to see if when I get to the end here, I could have done some measuring beforehand to find out if I'm actually going to end up with my last one being right what it should be.
Yeah, but this is our practice quilt.
That's exactly right.
We're practicing on this one. We'll know how it turns out when we do the real one.
That's exactly right.
Oh, look, it's looking good.
It's looking good. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much on there. Okay.
All right.
So you guys can see there that I did, and I've got, some stitching across there, but if I go back
and do your
with my
skinny ruler.
Yep. And go across it, it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and turn the corner again, and then we'll come down the side. And really, that's how you can do piano keys, free motion.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Well, thanks.
Another thing you could have done in these corners is we could have made them some kind of a cornerstone.
Yes.
And come up with a different little pattern if we didn't like the way this was going.
Absolutely. And that's something that you could absolutely do. You could put a little curly Q. You could put a circle.
A little bee.
You could put a little bee in there. There's so many fun things that you could do. Okay. So coming down this side of the quilt, we're just going to keep working our way down. We're just going to do the same thing.
Okay, this direction looks easier. Oh, no, it's not, because you're eyeing your 1/4 inch now.
Yep.
You're not measuring your 1/4 inch.
Well, I am measuring it. What I'm doing is I'm bringing it down.
Okay.
I could, honestly, if I was doing this, the problem is I know if I do it this way, nobody will be able to see what I'm doing on camera.
That's the way you
okay. This is what I'm doing is I'm just looking to line up the back of the foot right here with the stitch that I just did. So sorry, these aren't going to be quite as even, but.
So the way to make these even would be to put your ruler on the other side of the needle. Okay.
To do it this way.
All right, let's watch you do it that way for a minute.
I can do it like this. I know it's going to be hard for you guys to see what I'm doing, and then move it down and then over and down and over.
Now this is a 20-inch Amara.
Mm-hmm.
If you had like a bigger, like a 24-inch Amara, then you could bring your the thing you're working on closer to your lap or to your waistline as you're working.
Well, you can't really bring it any closer, but you've just got more throat space. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Would want your stuff closer to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that.
So we would just go ahead and finish that all the way around. And
I'm happy with either side.
Well, you get to choose. which one you want it to be. So you'll be able to do
some
that.
more practicing on the ruler.
I know. Well, and that's what I love about what we've got going here.
Yes.
You will be able to go home and practice with this, and you'll be able to decide how you want to do it.
Right.
You can decide if you want to do a little cornerstone there, or
learn to do the diagonals on the corners. I love that.
Yep.
That turned out very nice.
It turned out very nice.
All right. Now what are we putting in the middle?
Okay. Let's go through and let's do your, let's try out that other block.
Okay.
And put it in the middle, shall we?
Let's try it.
Okay.
This is Delicious Fanfare Block 2.
So I am going to go in here and clear my screen. And we are going to set up an area. So I'm moving this, and we're going to do it just a little bit in.
This is really unique for me to be sitting down.
Yeah,
I'm always standing on my...
If you're not used to it, it does feel a little different.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I've got my area there on the screen, and let's go open up this other block, and we will look. Okay. So we've got to go to these blocks are saved on our USB. I have them in that Quilting Bee Designs, and we're going to do the Delicious Fanfare Block 2. So this is the block, and you guys can see that. Remember that other one? It was twice as big as the block we had. This one's actually pretty close to the size. So there's going to be a real difference in density here. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Yeah, we're going to go in here. We're going to skew it in. That looks lovely.
Okay. Now, when you designed the area, did you come in?
I came in just a little bit. Like I told you before, just like on the other one, I came in just a couple of threads so that we're not bumping right up against the edge. Okay. And I already engaged my motors before I started this. So let's go in, and everything looks good. We're going to do quilt and run.
How do you know if your gears are on or your gears are off?
The color of your crosshairs.
Yes.
So the color of your crosshairs is
orange.
You know that your gears are engaged.
Ready for pro stitching.
Yep. Okay. We didn't check in front of like with all of you guys seeing, but I know that this block is going to quilt out much faster than the last one.
It's only like 2 minutes. And this one's 2.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 minutes.
Right.
So it's going to quilt out a little faster. You can see that it's already filling up the space more.
Well, the other thing is too, is this quilt block here behind us is so busy. It might not be worth the time to put all that stitching in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's one of those things that you get to decide as you go through and do it. It's actually kind of fun though, to be able to stitch these out beforehand and see them at the actual size that they're going to be on this quilt too. So you can really make that choice, right?
And look how that polyester is adding the dimension. Yes.
It really is. All right. And we'll see how different the thread looks. There's really only a slight change between these two threads, but it gives you another option for how to, what to use to finish this with.
I'm loving the curves against our piano keyboard.
Yeah.
I love the channel, how it's setting it apart.
It is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm liking the way that this pattern fits on that quilt box better than this one as well.
Yeah.
So things to think about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now we could go into Pro Stitcher Designer and design a block.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Where's Barbie when we need it?
I know.
With the quilting mill.
I know. Barbie could go in and help us do something really amazing here. Really, anybody that's got some experience using Designer could help us come up with something really fun here. And you can see how with this extra loft here, it's just kind of working in that extra fullness.
Okay, and we didn't put back on the glide foot. We're still using the sure foot. Yep. Is that a problem?
Nope, it isn't. It isn't. Nope, you can do this. especially if you are quilting and you're switching back and forth between the two.
Always
It's just fine.
right.
It's just fine. I've quilted with pretty much all of the feet with a pro stitcher at some point. Yeah.
So my thought process would say, okay, go do all your stitch in the ditch, do all your channeling.
Mhm.
Well, first you're basting all the whole quilts.
Yeah.
And then go back and do maybe this block and then move it forward and do all the same blocks.
Yeah, I would say, so what I would do is I would pick the thread color that is going to be the most prominent throughout the quilt, that you're going to use the most throughout the quilt. And I would go through and stitch everything in that thread color. And often that will end up being what your basting, or sorry, not your basting, you're stitching the ditches.
Okay, question in the back.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
So they didn't quite hear when you're talking about gears and the color of the crosshairs. Choose like when does it turn orange? Or does it turn a different color? I just repeat the question.
So the question is, how can you look at the Pro Stitcher screen and know if your gears are engaged? So I'm going to hit the home button here. And if you guys look here, you can see over there to the side, there is orange crosshairs. And if I kind of move them here, so the crosshairs represent where the needle is on the screen. They are orange when your gears are engaged. If I go to the Pro Stitcher tab and I hit the gears button, do you see how those just turn purple? That means that my gears are not engaged. I am in free motion. And so that's how you can tell the difference between the two. If I tap that gears button again, my gears are engaged, and I know that because they are orange.
And you need your gears off to do free motion because you don't need that fighting.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay. I'm liking this one better.
You like this one better
than this one?
Are you so glad that we stitched that out ahead of time and you had the chance to see that?
Right.
Because I know that you were thinking of using the two, and now you're thinking maybe of just using the one on all of the same blocks.
Exactly.
Okay, very cool. Okay, we have another question.
You have two.
Okay.
How do you decide which foot to use?
Okay, good question. How do you decide which foot to use? So it depends on what type of quilting you're using. The only, I would say, you absolutely must use foot for is when you're doing rulers. To be the safest and to have the most control, you should be using the sure foot. So you want to be sure and use that. Otherwise, you really can use pretty much any of the feet. I do recommend, if you are, do you want to grab the case over there? If you are just using Pro Stitcher, or you're doing like quilt from the back or a lot of free motion, I love you knew exactly the foot I was going for. You probably want to use this foot, which is your glide foot. And the glide foot is really great. It's got this little bowl and it helps you just glide right over the quilt and not catch edges or do any of those things. It's fantastic for that. The other quilt that I do use a lot when I'm doing custom quilting is this foot, and this is the micro foot. And I know you laugh.
It's not a foot, lady.
I will show you guys how to use this.
It
has just a tiny little stamp right there, a little half moon that holds the fabric in place as it's creating a stitch. Just enough. But what it does is it gives you complete visual, being able to see exactly where you're placing every stitch. So it's really great.
Are we going to scribble with that today?
We're
going to try scribbling.
We sure are.
Okay.
So we'll use that a little bit later on. But yeah. Okay. So what I want to do now is, okay, so we've experimented with the two blocks. I've shown you guys how to do piano keys 2 ways. I've shown you how to do stitch in the ditch and create a channel 2 ways, both with Pro Stitcher and with free motion. I think the next thing we need to do is one of these blocks. And you just mentioned doing some scribbling. So what if we come over to this one and let's play with a little bit more free motion here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take out.
And we're taking out our basting backwards. Look at that.
Yep.
And it was easy to come out because it was done on both sides.
Exactly.
Shorter
amount
of time.
So I just pull it up a little bit so I can grab both the top and the bottom, and then I can pull on either one when it's a shorter piece like that, and it just comes out.
Very
I can
nice.
get rid of that there. Yep. Okay, so the first thing I want to do on this block, so we're going to work through kind of what my ideas were on this block. So let's talk this through for a minute. So my thought was, because you're going to have piano keys here on both sides of it, let's create another channel in the black here. So I think we should come in 1/4 of an inch and do a channel, and then we'll come in 1/4 of an inch, and then we'll do stitch in the ditch.
Right.
So we'll do that.
Channel, stitch in the ditch.
And then, so you mentioned doing some scribble.
We could.
Let's do some scribble in here. Let's play around with that micro foot. I think we're going to try maybe the micro quilter, and we'll do something like that. So we'll do some fun free motion, just kind of filling in and emphasizing what's going on here. One thing that's going to be really fun for us to see on this one is right here is the line where we have this polyester batting, and then on this side is the bamboo. So you're really going to be able to see the difference in quilting really tight and then having it pop up. Okay, so because I still have my ruler base on, I'm going to go ahead and do the stitch in the ditch on this one really quick. And I'm going to scooch over here, and we'll come and do, and I'm going to go ahead and leave this gold thread in here. On the actual quilt, I would recommend using a black thread to do this part.
Okay.
But, you know, once again, you get to be the boss of your quilt.
So if I'm going to put black thread in the top, is it okay if I leave my neutral thread on the back?
I would recommend putting a black bobbin in. Although, you know what, if you're using 2 layers, you really aren't going to see that.
Probably it'll be okay.
Yeah, it probably will be.
Depends how you want your back to look as well.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you know, that's another thing we didn't talk about. What are you planning on using for backing on this, Garla?
It's just a cream, almost plain
Is
texture. It's a tone on tone.
Okay. Because that's something actually to consider. I'm gonna move this just a little bit because I am actually a little bit too close. I am almost close.
And she's just left her
I just
needle
left my
in
needle down, and it's going to slide a little bit. We'll just do a little bit of an adjustment there.
Kim, not afraid at all.
No. Guys, these machines don't bite. They do whatever you tell them to. You just have to be bossy and tell them what to do.
I need a recording of you bossing my machine around when I'm sewing at home.
Watch any of my videos.
Turn on Kim with her videos while you're doing your stitching, and it'll just turn out just like Kim sewed.
There you go. Okay, so I'm doing my stitch in the ditch here.
And she's doing a great job.
Connecting.
Even with our gold brown thread.
Yep. Well, and I'm doing it in the ditch here that's actually lining up with what we've already stitched. So having it do that same color is really good.
Of course, you know what I'm going to probably do with these 2 blocks. Take them off and make a bag.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that's a great idea. I think that is a great idea. Okay, so we want to come in just that 1/4 of an inch.
So she tucked on her thread to make that jump stitch come in.
Exactly.
So she doesn't have to put her thread down and up and
yeah, I don't want to cut my thread for that short of a jump. So I'm going to come and stitch down here. And sorry, you guys, I know you're not seeing too much of what I'm doing here. I'm coming to this corner here, and then I'm just going to line up that edge. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch down and stop.
And she's got it on cruise. So the machine's going to constantly run unless it's turned off.
But it's a very low cruise.
Right.
So,
but she's turning the I guess the play button for, and she's hitting the stop button when you stop.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So you guys can see that I'm creating like a frame around this.
Oh, it's turning out.
And it's actually, I kind of like this with the gold thread on top of the black.
So maybe you do black stitch in the ditch and come back with the brown.
Yep.
And do that edge right there.
Absolutely. Okay. So now I'm going to jump, and I want to do the 1/4 inch in from this edge again. So once again, I'm just gonna start right in that.
Okay, you're doing it from the inside edge this time.
Yep.
Okay.
So
we're following the panel.
Yep. And it's creating like a double frame around this.
Like the mat and the frame happening right here.
That's exactly like what we're doing. And once again, I could absolutely be doing this with Mark. on my Pro Stitcher.
Right.
I am showing you guys how to do it with rulers though. There's always more than one way to get the same look.
Wow, that looks
doesn't that look cool?
phenomenal.
And isn't it? It's amazing. It's just a couple of straight lines. That's literally all it is.
But that's what's turning the custom.
Yep.
Because we've got the swirl and the softness here, and then we're having those sharp lines right next to it.
Yep.
Which is giving it.
Isn't that great?
That is great.
And talk about seeing the difference in the loft between. Isn't that seeing the two battings? Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to. Okay. So once again, this side is, this is bamboo. So I have one layer of 80/20 and bamboo. And then this is this super loft poly. And you can see how this side is just puffy. Okay. Now I'm going to do this last stitch in the ditch. And this one is the stitch in the ditch around the edge of this panel.
Which just seems to be pretty important with that loft polyester batting.
But you can see how it just, it's like it finishes it off. Look how it just gives that framed effect. Doesn't that look so nice?
Yeah.
And this is simple to do, you guys. Like if you've never, if you've been afraid to do something like this is a super simple way to add a really custom feel to a quilt. It's just by doing something simple like this.
Right. And
now,
we're calling this confetti, right?
Yeah, this is confetti quilting, meaning we're using all the different techniques. Now, if you were really fancy, you could go back and do some sort of a little design in here. But once again, this is a printed fabric, so you don't necessarily need to add something to it.
This one's even busier.
Yep.
On the original than.
And so remember to always take that into account. It's like when you you made the comment about your that green gingham, and you wish that you had done something different in that all that sashing that you did, because you could not even see the design that you did. So it's always something to consider. Is that a spot that if I take the extra time, if I invest the extra time to do some quilting, is it going to show? Are people going to be able to see what I'm doing? So. Okay,
those 4 lines made a powerful statement.
Isn't that, look at what they did for that panel. I mean, isn't that huge?
And rulers really aren't hard if you go slow.
Yeah. And rulers are not fast. Rulers are never going to be fast.
Yes.
But when you're getting a level of precision, it just takes a little more time.
But the preciseness is a little bit more precise than mark.
It depends on how precise you are with setting up mark.
Okay.
So if you're stopping and you're really slowing down with mark, you can be very precise with it.
Okay.
I will tell you guys right up front, it is hard to talk and do it at the same time. So when I can get really, really good results with mark.
You can multitask better than most everybody I know.
I get really good results when I'm quilting at home by myself and I'm not trying to narrate what I'm doing.
Okay, we're putting on
So I'm putting on the microfoot right now. And this is where Garla might need to get brave and try some scribble stitching.
Okay.
We're going to see here.
We're going to do some scribble.
So
are we changing the thread color?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to show you guys the difference between scribbling and stippling. So I think what we should do here is some different background textures. Okay. And what I'm going to switch to is, so we went from a 40 weight thread here to a 50 weight thread here.
Yes.
And now we're going to go to 100 weight thread here. And these really are all within the same like shade family, right? But you're going to see a complete difference in what, here, I'm going to hand that off to you, Garla. A complete difference in how much the thread shows up. Like my guess is this yellow is not even going to look yellow on here. It's probably going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see. But when you're doing the really small micro quilting, having a lighter weight thread like this kind of lets you layer it more, and you can really pack it down, and you don't end up with just like a huge glob of thread on your quilt. Because when you're micro quilting, the goal is to add texture and not necessarily weight. Okay. And you can do micro quilting with any weight of thread. I just want to let you guys know that. But when your goal is to really emphasize the texture, using a lighter weight thread is going to help you do that because you don't see every single stitch.
Now, are we going to adjust our tension on our thread after changing from the 50 weight to the 100 weight? We're going to have to tighten it up a little bit?
No, actually, you usually have to loosen it up. So the finer the thread is, although honestly, I don't think I need to do anything here. The finer the thread is, the less tension it needs. So a heavier weight thread actually needs more tension, and a lighter weight thread needs less tension. So a more delicate thread, think of pulling on it.
Okay.
It takes less tension to break a heavy or a lighter weight thread.
Okay.
So it doesn't need as much tension on it.
There we go.
Okay.
Eye-opening for me today.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got my machine set up. Okay. I'm going to actually pop my ruler base off because we're not going to need that anymore. So I'm just popping that off and I'm going to hand that to Garla.
Like magic.
And she'll just set that over there out of the way. Okay, so what kind of designs? Okay, so people wanted to see a small stipple and then they want to see scribble. So we're going to do some of both of those.
Okay.
Now, just a note for everybody on micro quilting. My micro quilting may be another person's regular quilting, and that's okay. Micro just means you're doing it small or smaller than what you would normally quilt. So one person's micro quilting might be 1-inch pebbles. Another person's micro quilting might be 1/4-inch pebbles.
Okay.
Don't compare yourself. We're all at the level that we are, and we just work where we are at that moment.
But you've got the microfoot on so you can see better where you are, where you're going, what you've made.
Well, and I can see exactly where I'm going to place every single stitch. That's one of the things with it. Okay, so let's take a look at the display screen because we're going to make some adjustments here. So currently we're in regulated cruise and 12 stitches per inch. Well, when I do my micro quilting, I usually switch over to manual. And I'm gonna actually put out one of the presets, which is about 700. Okay. I am not as concerned about stitch length when I'm doing this. It's more about I'm trying to put a lot of stitches in one place to just really pack it down.
Okay.
Because we're trying to leave areas that are going to really puff up. Do you remember showing you guys the start earlier today where if it's not quilted, that's where your eye is drawn. So we're going to try to do some quilting really tight around this
flower bouquet.
This flower bouquet.
Okay.
To really make the flowers pop. Okay.
Flowers are about to pop. Get excited.
So we're gonna play with some different textures. Maybe we'll do I'll tell you what, we'll do a small stipple over here.
Okay.
And then we'll move over and we'll do a scribble.
Okay.
And then I'll do some pebbles.
Okay.
What's another micro quilting technique? You guys in the comments, put down a micro quilting design that you'd like to see, or some kind of a background design that you'd like to see. We'll see if I can do it. I can figure something out. But you guys start putting it down. And as I move over to that point, Brianne and Lily are going to be able to tell me what is one of the more popular ones, and we'll run with it. So I'm going to start down here in the corner. Okay. And I've got my micro quilter here. And okay. So what I'm going to do is just a really small stipple. So stipple basically means that I just want to keep the machine moving and running and try not to put any straight lines in there. So there's some different ways of doing this. There's like kind of like the dog bone where you make little dog bones that you can do. You can do it however you want. And I don't know, you just kind of move it around. And you're right,
that gold thread is just kind of vanishing in there.
It is. It's just kind of melting in there, isn't it?
It is.
So, and I'm going to kind of scooch it in here. And even though I don't want the lines to cross over themselves, technically, in some places they might kind of, and that's totally okay. So I'm just trying to kind of outline this. I don't know, Garla, have you ever tried this before?
Never.
Okay. This is my goal, to get Garla to try some.
I got to get brave enough to do
free
this.
motion.
I can't even draw it with a pen, though.
You know what, though? And that's the thing. Sit down and practice doodling and it will totally help you guys. You guys will notice here that I've got my handlebars. I do have one handlebar up. If I was doing this for real, I would have both of my handlebars down.
Both down.
Yeah. Not
Thank
one
you
up
for
and one
sharing
down.
that view with our
Yeah.
audience.
Well,
So they can see what you're
I
doing.
want you guys to be able to see. Okay, you guys notice how I kind of quilted myself into a corner here? I'm just going to kind of wiggle across, and it's okay that I just crossed over. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
Well, good, because this is going to be yours at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, so I'm just doing a micro stipple. So, and the more I do it, I know the more that I just kind of relax and get into it. Oh, you guys, I can't see because I don't have, like, why can't I see? Because I don't have my glasses on. Okay, so you guys are not seeing the thread on camera. Are we seeing the design at all? Okay.
So the gold thread is completely disappearing.
It is completely disappearing. Okay.
I picked black, but she thought that might be too
well,
hard.
you know what? You know what? We can switch and do the black. The thing is, I really don't think you'd want to do the black
in real life.
In real life. But
yes, but this is our plate quilt.
So people, I know, we can do that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll finish this little section off.
We have to appeal to our audience.
Yes, we will switch. Do you want to grab the black micro quilter?
So should I like give commentary like a football game on the radio?
Yes.
Kim's got her hand in motion.
I want you to do it in a golf voice.
I don't even know what a golf voice is. Here we go.
Let's watch Kim.
Oh, yeah.
As she carefully
everyone be
approaches.
Silent as she's just wiggling the handles, and it's just it's magically putting little stipples in there, and it will make
all the difference.
It's going to make that ribbon just pop out loud.
Yep.
But we really need them to see what you're doing.
I know. So we're
going to put some black on there.
Let me go like this. I wanted to finish over to there. Okay. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to swap this thread out. But we're going to see if we can tilt this quilt. If I can go like this and get that so that you guys can see. Can they see that texture there that we laid down and the way that this is popping up here? It's hard to see. Okay, so you can see the poofiness. The thing that's going to be really fun to see here is, okay, so this is the side. You guys can see the poofiness where I didn't quilt it. I didn't quilt. This is where we had the bamboo on top. And when I start quilting over here with the darker thread, and then this is where we're going to get into that high loss polyester. And it's going to be interesting to see how much more poof we get on this side. So let's go ahead and we're going to put on the black. So it's the same weight of thread as this. We're going to put on the black micro quilter. And we're going to go ahead and, is that ready to pull through? Yep. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pull this through. And
did you notice how she took her hand? You probably didn't see on camera. So we tied on the thread to pull through. So I just did a knot. As she's pulling the black thread through, though, she takes her finger on the tensioner and opens it up just a little bit so that knot goes through. And as she pulls the thread through, with that finger pulled open just a little bit, pulling open that tensioner, that knot flows through, but it stays tight in the tensioner so you do not lose the threading.
Yeah. Especially with these finer threads, sometimes if you pull them through and you don't do that, the knot will pop open.
We don't want that to happen.
We don't want that.
Not on camera.
Not on camera. I don't want to have to redo the entire thing. Okay. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to move this handlebar down just a little bit more. And when I'm doing a lot of micro quilting, I do like to be in standard view like this because I can rest my hands on the pole right here. And you can see that. And the closer your hands are to the needle, the easier it is to control. So that's kind of the idea here. But once again, I will only have this one down. I'm going to do a little lopsided quilting here. So,
but normally you'd have them both down.
Yes, I would. Okay. Absolutely. I would have them.
We're
I would have them both
right
here. Yep. Okay. I just turned up my speed.
Okay,
and
now we're up
I'm going to go ahead and do some stipple here so that you guys can see kind of some micro stipple. Is that better? You guys are able to maybe see a little bit more of what I'm doing. Actually, I'm gonna slow that down just a little bit. There we go. I think that's, so we'll see. We'll see if that's better. You guys are able to see a little bit more of what I'm doing. And then I'll start doing the scribble stitch here in just a minute. Okay, so this way you guys can kind of see what the micro stipple looks like. It's just a really small stipple. That's all it is. It's just a really small stipple.
Do you think micro stippling is simpler than normal size stippling?
I don't know. I feel like I tend to end up with a few more points, like you guys will notice in here. But the thing is if you're consistent all the way through, nobody's going to call that out. And frankly,
choice.
I am not going to be entering in any competitions, so I don't really care what other people think.
We don't care.
We don't care. We don't care. Okay, so let's do a scribble stitch. So a scribble stitch is just scribbling to really pack down. You think you could do this one, Garla?
Oh my gosh, look how fun that is.
It's just scribbling, just
yeah,
like
but do we like that?
Well, that's the thing. And I got to tell you guys, scribbling with black on white, definitely not
really drastic.
Yeah. But this way you guys can see. So if you're doing the scribble and you're doing it with the thread that just blends, you're not going to see all this. But you guys see how I'm just packing this down?
So
that's a scribble stitch.
So if you do a scribble stitch, you really want your thread color to match your background.
I would say so.
It needs to match the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now you're changing directions.
Yeah,
even.
And you want to do that. You don't want to do it all in one direction.
Okay.
So that's a scribble stitch. Yeah, this is actually kind of more maybe like thread painting. This could be a way to do this.
Okay.
And that's actually another option that you could do with a panel like this, is you could actually use different colored threads and go in here and add some texture to it. So I don't know. I'm not loving this scribble stitch. How are you feeling about this, Garla?
No, the stipple's much better.
Okay. So the stipple's much better, but we learned something there. Okay, I love.
However, if you did that scribble all throughout that whole block with the white, off-white thread, it would probably be wonderful.
Yes, I think it's just a matter of picking what you want to do and sticking with it. So I'm going to come in here and do some more stipple.
Yeah, so we can see how that polyester kind of pops around that ribbon. And how the bee flies out.
There you go.
The quilt.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes, you can really see a difference in the loft on this side. It is really popping over here. So
do you have a direction in mind as you travel?
What I try to do when I'm doing something like this is I just try really hard to not put myself into a corner. So I do kind of make a little bit of a plan here. So for example, here, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I kind of wiggled my way up between the two words there.
Yes.
And then I filled in and came over, and I'm working my way over it. And what I'll actually do is come and swing around the bottom of this and then work my way up.
Back up.
So, you know, don't ever feel bad about pausing and kind of running your finger around the quilt like I just did and making a little bit of a plan. Kind of tracing out the direction you want to head in, where you want to go. Okay, so the question is, are people liking seeing, are you seeing the stitching better? I mean, you can see how, okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Aw.
Thank you.
Aw.
That's very nice. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm glad that everybody's able to see. But I think we can all also agree that this would not be the look on your finished quilt that you would want.
No, but I'm loving the left side.
Yeah.
The left side is perfect.
Yeah. Seeing that.
Yes.
And you can see that, you know, with the black thread, you can see every little jiggle and wiggle and all of that kind of stuff. But with the white thread, you don't see all those little imperfections.
Don't do this at home.
Yeah. No, do this at home, but use a blending thread,
don't
you guys.
use the black.
Use
Very
a blending,
complicated.
use a blending thread. Okay, so I'm going to switch and I'm going to start doing a little something with a little bit of a loop in it.
Loopies.
Okay.
Loopies happening.
So I'm going to do a little bit of a different design. I think this is actually kind of fun to do next to the bee.
I'm kind of liking this. It looks like a bee trail.
Yeah.
In
so
flight.
This is another design, another small design that you can do.
Do we have any other suggestions?
Yeah, because I was going to do some pebbles for you guys. I can do some pebbles. They want to see what? Oh, okay. Okay. I can do some. Okay, Garla, I'll tell you what I want you to do. Okay. Will you grab the metallic thread for me? And
Absolutely.
we'll do some thread painting here. I'm going to come up and I'm going to do a little, we're going to connect these bees with these little loop-de-loos. There we go. Look at that. I connected the two bees with some loop-de-loos. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. So it sounds like we're getting some requests for thread painting. And you know what, you guys, panels are fantastic for thread painting because look at all this fun real estate that we have to play with up in this. I think we should add some sparkle to these. Yeah, we're going to use this one. We're going to add some gold thread to your flowers here.
Sure.
How does that sound? Okay. You like that idea? All right. So we're going to take the black off.
We didn't really love this.
No, but it was great for demonstrating. Great for demonstrating. The weight was correct. You could see how it was just.
Yeah, but look at this word, please.
Yeah, look at.
Wow.
You guys can see the difference in the poof here. So if you look at the amount of poof I have here, which is the bamboo, and then look at what that please is doing, and look at this side of that ribbon there, and the little bees over here, they have a lot more pop.
Yeah.
So you can see where the type of, I mean, double batting, you're always going to get more poof, but having something that's got more loft to it is pretty incredible. Yep. Okay. Just a note on this. So if we take a look up here, I am using a metallic thread. Now, metallic thread can be a little bit scary. I really recommend that you use a high quality metallic thread. Superior Threads has a really great metallic. And you want to use this because this is stack wound on a spool. You need to use the horizontal spool pin so that it comes off correctly and it doesn't add an extra twist to it. The twisting is what can cause it to break and snap, which is what we don't want.
Okay, and that's an accessory you can buy.
Yes,
on Handy Quilter, that little spool pin.
You can use it on any of our long arms. So you can use it on a Moxy, you can use it on a Mara, you can use it on Finity. You can add it to any of our older machines. Thank you, Garla. I'm gonna just clip that. And this, although metallic is a heavier weight thread, it is a more delicate thread. So I am going to loosen my tension just a little bit. And because we're doing thread painting and I am not worried about stitch length, as a matter of fact, with a pretty thread like this that's got some sparkle to it, I want to have a little bit of a longer stitch length. I'm still going to leave my setting in manual, but I'm slowing it down to like 650. So if you guys look at the screen right now, you can see my settings. I've got manual mode selected. My motor speed is at 650. I've got it set up so that my needle will stop in the down position. Okay. And what we're going to do is add a little bit of some sparkle to these. And this is thread painting. So I had some questions about this. I think thread painting is always a great custom thing that you can do. So what I'm going to do is just add a little line of quilting to each one of these daisy petals. So I'm just going to go out and in.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just going to add a little bit of a sparkle.
Oh my goodness.
You like that, Garla?
I love that.
I got to send you home with all this thread.
That is so incredible. The sparkle is happening.
Okay.
Wowza.
So look at that.
Wow, wow, wow.
You guys can see there that we've just got a little bit of sparkle. We're just adding a little bit of extra texture. And what I'm going to do is
these panels have flowers.
Yes,
that you could do that in.
Well, and you know what? Even like a beehive there. Yeah, you can add some there.
That would be wonderful.
It really would be.
Wow.
This is the fun to me. This is like the joy of custom quilting, is just starting to play and have some fun. And thread is definitely where you can do some real, let's have some fun.
But it's so little.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing such a little and it is going so far.
Yes. You'd really, with something like this, if you did too much of it, it would overkill.
Yes.
But if you just make it a subtle little,
okay,
it's going to happen.
Okay. And we're pausing to rethread the needle.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
That is great. Okay, we're pausing for a minute while we're doing some camera ray setup.
That little tiny bit is really adding a lot to the quilt.
Doesn't that?
Yes. And I think this would be a great free motion to start with.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no exact science to it.
No, there is
You're
none.
just going up and down those petals.
Yep. I just kind of did a stitch that went up and down, and on some of them I stitched right back on where I stitched at originally. On some of them I didn't. There's nothing exact. There's no specific design you're trying to
are
just have some fun with it. Totally.
Love it.
Okay, well, let me show you guys some more of this.
Okay, a couple more of those.
So I'll do another flower so you guys can see a little bit more of how it.
So when Kim and I were talking on Thursday, I'm like, what are we going to do for 5 hours? Oh my, we could do this for days. Come up with new fun ways to custom quilt something.
Oh yeah. There is no shortage of ideas. Okay. Do a little bit of stitching there, and then I'm going to clip.
Can you talk a little bit about your journey to Longarm?
So really, truly, even in the craft shows and the trade shows where the long arms were set up, I never went near them. They were just overwhelming to me. I was afraid of them. I didn't know how it would fit in the real estate in my house. It was so overwhelming. I didn't even go near them. And then when Brianne invited me to come to Academy that first year, I didn't even own a machine. I got to take a beginner pro stitcher class. And within that first day, I knew that I wanted a long arm. I knew that I could do it. I knew that I would be successful. And so I practiced a few times with Brianne at Handy Quilter with a few really small quilts, and they were all successful. I did have my baseline errors when I started, for sure. We all do. But then the great sale happened, just like they're having it now. And I took my money that I had saved for a car, and I have not regretted it 1 second. I love having that long arm. I love finishing my quilt top and running over, loading it on my long arm and finishing it. I love that I made it from start to finish. I love when I give that quilt away. Yes, I made that entire quilt. It makes me real happy. But I can hardly talk. This is so pretty what Kim's doing right now. That is what the sparkle thread is for. Adding that little bit of color in there.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
And you can see how you don't actually see the stitches. And trust me, if you guys were looking at this super up close, you're going to see that my lines aren't straight. They're wonky. They kind of wiggle and whatever.
Wonky.
But what it does is it just adds that little extra texture of sparkle to it, doesn't it?
Right.
And so, doing a little extra touch like that on a custom quilting. And I mean, how long did that take me? That took me like, I don't know, 2 minutes to quilt that.
Right. What a difference that makes.
What a game changer.
Right?
Yeah. And this is absolutely,
sparkle.
It's thread painting. That is scribble stitching, because all I did was a little whoop, whoop in each petal. I just went in and out, and some of them went a little bit beyond the edge of the petal. Some of them didn't make it all the way. It's totally fine.
So
it just adds something fun.
I really think this is a beginner technique.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that.
This is beginner.
And I'll tell you what, if this is something you just want to practice, you don't have to do it on a panel. Even just find a fun floral print
Right.
fabric, load it, and have some fun with it. And you don't have to use sparkly thread, just use colored thread.
And then make a bag.
Yeah, seriously, make something fun with it.
Nothing goes to waste.
No, exactly.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna have
really
to have
cool.
you put your signature here on this one. This is gonna have to say Kim on this one.
Okay, so I want to, just for an experiment, I want to do some more of this little bee. I want to finish out the rest of this, and I'm going to use the sparkle thread in the background.
Let's see it.
Because then we've got 3 different threads.
Yeah,
and
let's sparkle it up.
We're seeing 3 different ways to do the same thing, right?
Remember we talked about the theme of this quilt? And one of the things we decided was it is whimsical.
Yes.
So adding that sparkle to this adds that whimsical.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They want you to sign it, Kim.
They really want. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll
really
sign it. I'll sign it if you want me to.
With the gold thread.
With the gold thread. With the gold thread. Okay. I'll I can sign my name up here in the corner.
Okay. She's gonna put her name in
up there. Okay. I'm gonna speed this up again. To
okay,
like
we're going fast.
And
because we're done thread painting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do this with the gold thread, and you guys will see with the little meander with the loops, and we're just going to meander around and do the little loops. And this is kind of fun because this is going to give Garla a few different things to choose from. And the fun thing is she's got extra panel here to be able to take it home and play with it, right?
Right. In fact, I made a whole entire mock quilt to do today, and I brought an extra quilt in case we ran out of time. That's me. I got really high expectations.
You're always prepared, which I so appreciate. It makes it so fun.
Okay, I'm still leaning with the cream color.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the cream color.
It's fun. It's fun to be able to experiment with it, though, and to be able to see the difference.
You didn't do any pebbles.
No. Oh, okay. So should I do some? You know what? I'll do some pebbles down here.
Yeah, we need a few pebbles in there.
I'm gonna finish with the little
loop-de-loos. And she's got her loop-de-loo groove on.
I do have my loop-de-loo groove on. Okay.
Loop-de-loo groove on.
Okay. And I'll leave that corner up there so that I can do. Okay. You guys want me to do pebbles? I'm going to do pebbles.
Okay.
Pebbles with gold. Oh my goodness. Golden pebbles. How's that?
Golden pebbles.
Now, you guys, just a reminder that pebbles are not perfectly round in nature, and they're never perfectly round on my quilts either. So it's kind of like, no, I'm serious. Like they're all a little bit of a different shape and a little bit of a different size. That's what actually makes it pretty. And remember, you don't need to fill in every single square inch with pebbles. There's actually space between pebbles. But this kind of gives you an idea of how to do it. And it's like drawing figure eights. You know, I'm actually kind of digging this with the...
She's digging it. Her pebbles.
The gold. I know.
You got that shovel going.
I know. Making a little pile of them here. My little gold coins. That's what I'm quilting here.
Gold coins.
I'm quilting gold coins. How's that?
Little honey bubbles.
That's right. Little honey. Oh, I like that. Little honey bubbles. So I don't know, Garla, what do you think? Are you going to
definitely not doing the pebbles first, but I'd like to practice pebbles.
Well, this will be a good quilt for you to practice pebbles on.
Yes.
You could actually have this and you could quilt this baby to
and
death.
Guess what?
And do all
I don't have a micro foot. If you don't have a micro foot, make sure you do that hashtag HQ Buzz.
There you go.
B-U-Z-Z, so you can win the $200 gift card to buy your micro foot.
There you go. Okay, so we did some.
Oh,
we did 4 different textures there.
Okay, we got different colors.
You guys all want me to sign my name, so I'm going to come.
Yeah, we're going to do a Kim. Here we go. Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
There we go. How's that?
Kim is signed.
You know what? It kind of does.
Yes.
That's kind of fun.
Okay.
So how is that? How is that for showing you? Oh, I guess I got missed a little bit there, but
okay.
Talk about having some real estate to practice in. How great is that?
Who is this?
I know. Look at the poof.
It's like a puff pillow.
Seriously, look at the puff. And even even filling it, you can feel how much more puff is on this side than on this side.
Yes.
It just goes to show that you can use 2 layers of any batting and you do definitely get more definition there.
Yeah.
But there is something about that super puff.
Yeah. I just want to keep rubbing my hand over and over and over on it.
Oh my gosh. I know. Seriously.
Okay.
Okay. So the next quilt we're going to do. Okay. So we just. Oh, you guys, it's
time for the 310?
For the 310 giveaway.
I'm
we're
so
gonna do some cool stuff
excited.
here. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to have some fun with Pro Stitcher with this last block here. Okay, so it is time for the winner of the 310. So just so that you guys all understand, so the 310, people signed up and entered this at Houston, and then also online. We closed taking entries for this. When did we close? Last night at 11:59 p.m. So just know that. And we did during our lunch break, we did our random number generator, and we picked a winner. And are you guys ready for a big drum roll? Our winner of the stitch is Randy Vincent. So Randy Vincent, congratulations. You are going to be having a brand new Stitch 310 shipped to you. You're going to get an email from Handy Quilter, and we'll be contacting you for information about that. So congratulations, Randy Vincent. The Stitch 310 is such a great machine. We didn't bring one in here, but it's such a great machine. It only weighs 14 pounds, and it comes with its own hard carrying case. And it also has a little table with it. It's like the perfect machine to take to retreats because you can just pack it up and take it with you anywhere. And it's one of those things that when we actually redesigned and came out with the 310 a few years ago, we all insisted that it have a thread cutter. So I want you to know it's got the variable speed. It has a thread cutter. It's got a cute little buttonhole on it. You can do a basic zigzag, straight stitch. It's a great versatile little machine.
Perfect for piecing when you're away from home.
Absolutely, absolutely. Or if you're a beginner, maybe Randy, maybe you're a beginner, it is a fantastic machine to learn how to sew on. So congratulations, Randy. All right, let's move on to this block now.
Okay, what are we doing different
so
this time?
we did this one all free motion, and we did a lot of different fun free motion things here.
Right.
So this one, I want to do this one with Pro Stitcher.
Okay, we're back to Pro Stitcher.
We're back to Pro Stitcher.
Doing our confetti day.
I know, we totally are. And I want to do let me go like this because I dropped my needle. First of all, we are going to switch back to our glide foot.
Okay, we're gliding again.
Yep, we're gonna switch the micro foot.
And the microfoot is available maybe at your retailer or on handyquilter.com.
Absolutely. Yep. And we are going to switch this foot out. Okay. When I'm quilting with my Pro Stitcher, I really do love to have that glide foot on there. Okay, and what color thread do we want to use? Maybe we'll just leave the gold on here because it seems like everybody can see it pretty well.
We can use the gold.
Okay, we'll use the gold on this one. So we're using the gold metallic. This is one that I would definitely say what I'm going to recommend and what we're going to try out for this one at home. I would recommend that Garla uses the monopoly.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to quilt an all over, like basically like an edge to edge design in here so that it just creates a fun texture.
Yeah, we just want texture.
Yep.
We don't want to overtake the panels design.
Absolutely.
Which is easily done. Like
it really is.
Using black thread.
I know.
There's our sample.
Seriously. Example of non-blending thread right there, especially with the scribble stitch. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do mark once more. So we're going to go to the Pro Stitcher tab and we are going to set up and do that frame around this again.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do it with mark. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that.
Watch again, we're doing a mark.
So Pro Stitcher tab, the record on the ribbon, and then we're going to use this mark feature right there.
So you want your needle exactly where you want to start before you hit the mark button.
Yep, exactly. And I am going to be dropping quite a few points here along the way.
And if you were at home, it would be making that chiming sound that we love to hear, don't we?
We do love to hear that. I know. It lets me know that I am dropping it right where I want it to be. So, okay, I've got that there, and I'm going to hit, so you guys can see what I'm doing there on the screen. Sorry, letting you guys catch up with what I'm doing. I'm going to
And she's doing this sitting down.
Well,
absolutely remarkable.
I quilt sitting down. I really do. I think it's because so often I am quilting in the studio on a machine that somebody shorter than me uses on a regular basis. So I don't like to hunch over while I'm quilting. So I do a lot of sitting. Okay. So I went back to my start. You guys see that my start and end points there, and you guys can see slight kind of waves
really
in those lines.
Wonky.
Yeah, but
how did that happen?
It follows. It's because I did them a lot closer together. But don't worry, we're following the shape of the design. No, really, it'll be fine. And then we're gonna come in and we're actually gonna do the whoops, actually, hang on a second.
Undo.
Oh no, actually it didn't. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, undo. I forgot to do a jump stitch there because I don't want it to stitch
so show us that again. She's going to press
touch the
jump
button there, and I added a jump point, and then I'm going to come down here and I am going to continue to mark.
Okay.
And I'm doing a little bit of a narrower channel than what I did on the other one, so that Garla will be able to look at that and decide.
So I have more options, more confusion.
More choices. Choices are never a bad thing.
Yes. Life is always good if you have choices.
I agree with you on that one.
Okay, she's getting those marks in.
Hey, Kim, what's the difference between this and creating a multi-point area?
So an area I would only be able to do, the difference between an area and doing a multi-point area and using mark is I would only be able to do one of these at a time. I would not be able to set up all of these and have them stitch out together. So you guys see how I've got those two thin lines quite close to each other?
Looks great.
I would not be able to do that with an area. So that's the biggest difference.
But you could do an area and then stitch around the area.
Yes,
you could do that.
I could do that. Okay, I'm going to do another jump.
And then you could resize it down the 1/2 inch.
I could.
And re-put it in the center, and away you go again.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
There is almost always more than one way to do something.
And isn't that the beauty of Pro Stitcher? Because some people's minds think different than other people. So whatever works for you, you do it your way.
That is exactly right. You can figure out what will give you the look that you want, and that can be the method that you use for that quilt. So, okay. Yeah, and this time around, I don't know if you guys remember, but from last time I did that 1/4 inch, and this time it's maybe closer to an 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
So,
but both are channels.
Yes. Yep. We're
and I'm looking at this channel and those quilts that we showed at the beginning that I had disappointment in. If I would have added a channel, that would have solved most of the issue. Just adding a channel.
Yep. It was the missing element, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Such a small feature to add.
It is, isn't it? Okay.
Look at you go.
I know.
Hey, at least Christina's not here racing with you.
She sure could be. We could be. Okay. So now we're going to go to quilt. I baselined it, and you guys can see the double frame that I've created there. And we're going to go ahead and let this run.
Let's see what it looks like with magnetic, with this
metallic thread.
Metallic thread
on top of the black.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? I think it's going to look really like, I love gold thread on black. I think that it looks really rich. Like it just gives it a fun sparkle effect. Because there's that contrast. Right?
Whoa. That's straight in the ditch. You can't even see it.
I got that one. That one went down in the ditch, didn't it?
Yeah.
And just a caveat, when I am narrating while I'm doing this, definitely not my highest quality work, but overall pretty happy. Okay.
What is the purpose of the channel?
So what the question is, what is the purpose of a channel? So a channel, it just creates a frame around a design and it really makes it pop. So it's one of those things often in custom quilting that people can't quite put their finger on what makes that custom quilting look really special. But when you point out to them that, hey, this is what it is, they start recognizing it and seeing it in many, many custom quilted quilts. That channel, it creates a stop point for one design to move into the next design. It tends to frame things. So
it's just like a matting on a painting.
Yeah.
You know, it's a simple concept, but wow, does it make a big difference?
It really does. It really does. And can you see here looking at this narrower channel versus the thicker channel?
I'm kind of liking the narrower channel, but it might be the gold thread as well.
Yeah. The gold thread definitely adds an extra element to it, I think.
Okay, now we're working on some wool.
Yeah.
It's still giving us that poof look.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I love this.
It is really cool. So it's going to be fun to see what you decide to do on yours, whether you venture out with rulers or mott.
Well, I can tell you what, I'm going to do it soon while everything's fresh in my mind.
Well, you take this home too and load it.
And I can practice.
Practice on it. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and cut this here.
Okay.
And I think this is actually kind of fun too, because you're able to play with the different the widths of the channels, and you can see the difference here between the two. It's also fun to see, I mean, essentially same color thread. You've got a gold here and you've got a gold here, but this gold has a sparkle to it. And it does really set it off, doesn't it?
Wow.
Look at that difference.
Wow.
And, you know, for a quilt that is going to be a showpiece that you display, why not go for the bling?
Bling all the way.
Yeah.
And if Nick was here, we'd have to put some of those little
some hot crystals on it.
Top it, right?
Seriously. Okay, so I want to play with just stitching a background design all over this.
Yes, we want to do
with Pro Stitcher.
This is what I'm learning, because we'll go back to my little wall hanging that had all that overstitching. We're going to get rid of the overstitching today.
Okay. So
That's
we're going to have some fun with it.
Okay,
so what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to set up an area. So I selected the area tab on the Pro Stitcher, and then I am going to set up an area that's just a hair inside. Yeah.
Or 3 hairs.
Yeah. We're doing it just a little bit in there.
Okay. And don't we love that laser light?
I know. It makes it
to mark
so easy to be able to do this, because it gives you that level of precision.
All right.
Okay. So we're happy with that. And then we're going to go into File, Design, and Open. And we're going to go look at our collection of designs here. And I think we should use this Honeybee Meander.
Meander.
I think the Honeybee edge to edge is a little bit tighter than we want. But the Honeybee Meander.
Okay.
I think this is what we're going to want. Now, we're obviously going to need to make this much smaller.
That's a little bit too big.
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's a little too
inside. Big. So let's go in and size this down to start with. So modify. So this is something that I really recommend if you are using an edge to edge design and you're going to use it as a background fill. Go in and resize it before you start repeating it. Okay.
Right. And the other beauty of this pattern is we're going to be able to put it in that square without cropping it, and it's going to fit beautiful.
We're going to make it. We're going to make it fit really well.
We're going to make it fit.
So we selected modify and resize, and then we're going to turn the lock on over here in the ribbon because we don't want to lose the aspect. We want those bees to maintain.
How many
shape.
bees do we want to go across here?
Oh, that's the question. So I think we should squish this down so it's about 6 inches tall.
Okay. Question in the
we've
back.
got a question.
We're not going to be able to see this in the gold.
Oh, we're not going to see this in the gold? No. Okay.
Um,
green.
Do you want to try a different color here to stitch this out?
We're playing.
Okay. Why don't you grab a darker color and I will go in. So I'm going to do a repeat here. I'm going to do maybe 2 repeats across there. And I think we are going to have to do, you know what? We're going to do 3 repeats.
Do we want brown or do you want that green over there? Brown it is.
Okay.
Brown wins
We're
today.
going to do 2 there. And I'm going to go in here, modify, and I'm going to hit align and center this design inside there. And I think I'm actually pretty happy with that. Garla, we are going to crop it. No, we're not going to skew it.
Why are we going to crop it? We're going to have the machine start and stop, and we're going to be okay with that?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a little experiment here because we can.
Because we can.
So we're going to experiment, and we are going to go to crop, and we're going to crop outside. And the first row that we stitch out, we're going to leave the edges open. And then the second row that we stitch out, we're going to close the edges.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can see the difference.
So we can see the difference between the two, and then we'll be able to take a look at that. So, okay.
I'll let you take over now that you're
pull that through.
All right, we're putting brown thread on.
Okay,
so everyone can see.
We put a dark brown thread on here. Definitely not what you would actually quilt with.
And this is a superior thread, so fine.
Okay. So it's a
467.
Okay. And it is a, so that's a 50 weight thread.
50 weight.
Okay.
A little bit lighter than a 40.
We're going to start up here and we're going to go to the Pro Stitcher tab. I am going to leave my start and end tie-offs on. I have those on so that it will tie off at all of those start and stop points.
Yes.
So we're going to do that and we're going to go ahead and hit run. And machine's going to move up and take a stitch so that I can do this. And we will pull that out of the way and then we'll let you guys see what this is going to look like. So you can see that we already did a tie off there. And it did a little jump. I was quilting the little antennas.
We're still on real slow, aren't we? We left our speed slow.
Even if we turn this up really fast, the machine is going to go very slow here because it needs to, because the design is very small. So this is not going to stitch really fast, even if we had the speed cranked way up. Like as fast as it just went right there is as fast as it's going to quilt. But when Pro Stitcher is really smart, and when it is stitching a design like this that is very slow, very small, it slows down so that it has that precision.
Because this might have been a pattern I might have picked.
Yeah.
To do edge to edge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and it came in at 12 inches. We made this half the size that it was originally designed at.
Yes.
But those little bees are quilting out quite cute, I've got to say. Yeah.
And it's jumping, so we're going to have to cut those jump stitches.
We're going to have some
because
jump
we
stitches.
have open edges on our cropping.
Yep. So, so cute. See, and I could see how having this stitched over the top of this in the clear thread, would be absolutely adorable because you're only going to see it if you get up really close to it. And because you're going to be displaying this on a wall, people will be able to do that. They will actually be able to get up there really close.
Yes.
And enjoy that fun little thematic element.
And we're even getting some poof with our wool batting. It's coming out very pretty. And the open edges aren't too bad.
No, it takes a little bit more time. And we're going to compare here. So we're quilting this top row with the edges open.
I didn't know you could switch halfway through.
So the reason why we can switch is because I did not baseline it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is when we get done stitching this first row, we're going to cancel
Okay.
And then we're going to go back into crop, and we're going to close the edges, and then we're going to skip to the beginning of the second row.
Okay.
And just stitch the second row. And we'll see what the difference is in how it stitches.
And maybe the closed edges wouldn't be so obvious with the clear thread.
Actually, there's some truth there, because the clear thread is not going to stack a lot on itself. The thing that will be interesting to see is how much overstitching there is.
Yes.
With the way that the software decides to crop the design. So, oh my gosh, those little bees are just adorable. You can really see the one up there. That is so cute.
And that is probably all this block needs.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that simple edge to edge.
Well, and I even think your blocks like this would be really cute, especially if you wanted to do like the thread painting we did in the other one. Maybe even go through and use that honeycomb design.
Yes.
So all you're doing is putting a geometric pattern over the top of it.
Yeah.
And then you could go back and add a little bit of.
If we have time, let's put the geometric in here.
Okay.
What do you think of that
idea? Yeah. You know what? Let's finish this one, and then we can roll down and we can do the geometric there. Absolutely. Let's do it. I think we've got time. Yeah. So you can see that when you're tying off these little parts, it does take a little bit of extra time. I know that normally when I'm doing custom quilting like this, I very rarely close the edges, unless it's something like the piano keys that we did earlier, where it will just stitch a straight line. I tend to sit through a lot of tie-offs, but you don't end up with any extra overstitching that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, how fun. You have just a little bee poking out of that edge right there.
He's meant to be right there.
He is.
He's meant to be.
Okay, we're having a little too much fun with this.
Okay. So when you were a little girl, did your mom quilt?
No, actually, so growing up, not quilting like this, I should say. The family I grew up in, the quilts that we made was we would take 2 sheets, put some super loft polyester between the 2 of it, slap in my grandma's big frames, and then we would tie the quilt.
Absolutely.
Nothing was pieced. I still remember my first quilt that I wanted to do. I was like, I wanted to have this geometric, and everybody was like, why? Just quilt a sheet. I'm like, this isn't quilting. This is tying. It's different.
So a question.
Okay.
Can you please explain overstitching?
Oh,
okay, so you guys are going to see overstitching.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this. So when you look at what we just quilted, it didn't stitch where the little across the edges here, where the design was stamped out. So if we take a look at the screen, you guys, I'm going to go up to the view tab, and I'm going to turn off the area. And you see all the places where there are those red dotted lines. That's places that the machine did not stitch at all. Now, you guys keep looking at the screen here, and we're going to go to modify. And this is actually really great. I'm going to close the edges, and you're going to see how all of those dotted lines just turned into solid lines. Okay. And we're going to have stitching there between things. And we may have some places where it actually stitches over some of those lines 2 or 3 times. And that's what overstitching is. And Garla's got a great example of it here. We can show you guys. This was the watermelon quilt that we showed you guys earlier. And if you guys look, there is a really heavy line of red stitching right here. You can see where it has stitched, and then it has stitched over, and it has stitched over and over. That is overstitching. So that's where, when you close your edges, sometimes it will do that overstitching. That's what overstitching is. So that's what I'm trying to show you guys some options to maybe not have that. So we just stitched this first one out, and we didn't end up with overstitching. What we ended up with is some long jumps. So like I have these pieces of thread that I have to go in and clip along the edges there, but we didn't have the extra stitching there. Now on this second one, if we go back to the Pro Stitcher screen, I went in, I closed the edges. My area of view is turned off. So we're going to leave that off so that you guys can really see where we're stitching. If I go to the new start and end on the ribbon, I am able to come over here, and I'm going to jump the start down to the beginning of the second row. Let's see that. What I'm going to do is bring it closer over here. Do auto. And go like that. Okay, there we are. We're at the very beginning of the second row, and we're going to watch how it stitches out this time. If you guys remember the last time we stitched, it kept pausing and doing tie-offs. There's not going to be any tie-offs this time. It's going to do a tie-off at the very beginning and at the very end, and it's just going to stitch continuously the rest of the way through. So you guys are going to see the difference between the two. And then Garla will be able to take this home and really look at it closely so that she can see what the difference is. So right there is where we have a little bit, we just stitched along the edge instead of pausing. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know that we're going to get
I'm not
a lot of
minding that first
overstitching.
one.
No,
That
this one
first one's
was
not bad.
fine. That was just fine.
No problem at
It was
all.
one little bit. And especially if you are stitching something like this in clear thread,
Oh yeah,
it would just blend right there.
it's gonna be my next experiment. Monofilament, here I come.
Monopoly, not monofilament.
Monopoly.
So monofilament
Yes.
is nylon.
That's the old stuff.
Yes, that's the old stuff that it turns yellow and it cracks.
Yes,
and
we don't want to do
it's
that.
like old fishing line. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So we ended up with the jump there, even though we closed our edges, because that one was long enough that the computer said, nope, we don't want to do overstitching there. But right there was some overstitching.
Okay.
So, and it's going to come up and stitch this
So
little
when I
bead.
use the monopolymate thread, am I going to put a little bit of batting up in here?
You sure can. You sure can. There's some different ways to do it. I do really recommend when you use monopoly, and I know we had it on the monopoly we had here, use the thread net over the top of the monopoly.
Thread net on there.
Mhm.
Do I go through all three of the little barber pole, or
No,
just
usually just one.
one? Okay.
Yep. It's a more delicate thread. It's a 100-weight thread, so you don't need as much tension on it.
Okay.
So that's usually what we end up doing.
This is the winner.
A winner for you.
This design
Okay.
on there is definitely a winner.
Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. It's very cute. It's probably I feel bad because it's a little bit harder to see down through these flowers here, but it's also kind of fun because it's the bees are in the flowers. Isn't that cute?
But all we're after really is texture, because we don't want to overtake.
Yeah,
Because we like it
Exactly.
already.
exactly. Okay, we've got another question. Okay, so really good question. What bobbin thread do we recommend using with monopoly? So I like to use just kind of a neutralish thread that is going to blend with the background of the quilt, so that if it happens to pop up, I have a little bit of a tension issue, it's not going to totally show. So I often use maybe a beigey or greigey color for with that. But yeah, match it to the background of your quilt. Oh, these are so cute. These little bees. Yeah, I think this is definitely a really fun one. So we'll finish quilting this one out, and then we're going to advance it. And we're going to be able to, we'll quilt out the honeycomb design in this bigger
Absolutely.
one. I think that sounds like a
Because
great idea.
we've got a lot of soft curves.
Mhm, mhm.
It's time to add another element.
Absolutely.
We have our piano keys.
Yep.
So now we add
Setting
another
off
element.
these pieces. We've
Yes.
got all the straight lines. We've got
Yes.
channels. Do you feel like this is achieving the look you were going for, Garla?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm feeling confident to do it myself.
Yay.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I don't know about that scribble work though.
Well, the scribble, honestly, the scribble, and I'll tell you what, I'm trying to think if I've got quilts where the scribble is really used. Like I'm thinking of like a quilt that we have out there that's one of the challenge quilts by Stanley Rindlisbach. She did some absolutely beautiful
Oh,
feathers, and she did
beautiful.
some scribble work around the feathers to really make the feathers pop. Like
She
there's
does.
a place for it. I don't recommend doing it in black thread. And something that blends, I think it would have looked, it can do what the desired effect is,
Okay,
and it can
this
make things
is
look quite
darling.
lovely. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that turned out quite nice.
Yeah. And I
Um,
don't even mind the black on there.
Yeah, that darker
That's-
color.
That's not,
It's not, yeah.
I thought it would be very offensive, but it's perfect.
It actually looks pretty good. And once again, okay, so we've got our different types of batting across here. So this was the wool on
Uh-huh.
top. This was the super loft poly. This is part of the super loft poly and the bamboo. And then this one was our 100% cotton. So the cool thing is too, Garla, you'll be able to take this home and really look at this and look at these different options here and then pick what you want to do on yours. You want to buy some wool? A roll of wool.
A roll of wool.
Okay, we're going to advance the quilt here because, yeah, we can do this other giveaway. Okay, so we're going to do the giveaway for, do you want to go ahead and roll it? Let's do the giveaway for the hashtag HQ Buzz. So if you have not entered yet, hurry, because we're about to do this big giveaway. We're giving away a $200 gift card. And we're going to be giving away the Moxy about what time? In about a half an hour.
Wow.
Just stick around for that. Okay, so we're drawing right now for this. Little spinner is going.
Olivia Humphreys.
All right.
Woo,
Congratulations
hooray.
to Olivia Humphreys. Congratulations. You just won a $200 gift card. So what you need to do is send an email to spotlight@handyquilter.com and send that email, including that email, your name and a good shipping address for you. And we'll be sending that $200 gift card to you. Actually, we'll just email you the $200 gift card. We're not going to ship it to you, but $200 gift card so that you can get some fun accessories for your long arm or, whatever other quilting stuff you want from us. Maybe the Stanley bag. So be sure to stick around. We're going to be giving away the Moxy in about a half an hour, which is going to be so much fun. And we're going to quilt one more block here. So we're going to do the outline here, right? Or the honeycomb texture.
Yeah, we could start with the honeycomb texture because we know what this looks like.
Yeah.
We've learned that.
Mm-hmm.
We can do some honeycomb texture here.
I want to see the difference of doing. So we've done some really curvy designs on top of this. Let's do the honeycomb texture. And we're going to go ahead and leave this darker thread on so that it's easier for you guys to see. But we would definitely be doing this with probably a clear or a blending color for the real thing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're just going to come in and set up an area. So on the screen, I'm going to select the area tab. And then we are going to set up an area here.
This is really fun to have a second quilt to practice for your first quilt.
It really is.
It's kind of overkill though.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I mean, if you make a quilt.
Oh, we're really excited. We are. I'm excited to see what density that Kim picks.
Okay.
Let's see what she chooses.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, okay. You guys, this is something that's actually kind of funny. I'm like, where is my area? I know I have an area there. Remember?
You turned it off.
I turned it off in view. There's my area. Okay. So we're going to unselect the area so that it's pink. There's my area set up.
That looks good.
And we're going to go to File, Design, and Open. And we're going to open this honeycomb edge to edge. Now, when this opens up, you guys are going to look at this design and be like, oh my gosh, that design is so boring.
It is so boring.
It's because when you repeat it, that's when it looks really, really cool. Okay, and let's play with the height and density of it. Okay, so this is 1.5 inches high. I think we should go in and we're going to modify it, resize it. We're going to keep that lock on, and I want to change the height down to 1 inch tall. I think a 1 inch honeycomb is actually going to look really good here. Okay. Then we're going to go to the repeat tab, and I'm going to choose horizontal, and I'm going to hit fill. Now, this is where we get to start having some fun. So first of all, I want to do one more there. And then we have to go in and wrap this because that is not giving us the look we want. So we're going to come back up here to the ribbon, and we're going to choose wrap. And then horizontally, we want to go to this row section right here. And I'm just going to hit that half button and see what happens. Oh, wow. And look at that.
Oh,
that is so cool.
Wow.
But what I want to do, because I know I'm going to have some draw in as I go through and stitch this, I'm going to go to vertical. And I am actually going to add just a little bit of a gap.
Okay, you know this.
Yes. So if you guys actually look at this picture that we've got here of the design. So this is the PDF from the Pro Stitcher designs from ProStitcher.com, the Pro Stitcher pattern. And you can see that they actually recommend having that little bit of space between there. And you know what? I really recommend it too, because that way, as we go through and stitch this out, as it draws in, we are not concerned about having things be so close together. And here's a little trick that I'm going to show you guys. So on
we're
the screen,
widening the gap, which is usually
the gap.
Opposite. We're always
usually we're bringing things closer.
Yes.
What we want to do is we want to look and see how much that gap is really going to be. So I'm going to use this tool right here at the bottom of the screen that's called 1-to-1. And what this does is this is showing me on the Pro Stitcher screen in actual size, what size it's going to be. So Garla and I are looking at this in real size. I know it's going to be a little bit different for you guys there. I think that it's about 1/8 of an inch, and I think it looks good. What do you think?
I like it.
Okay. So let's zoom back out so we can see the whole thing. Now we've got one other thing going here. Do you guys notice that it's a little wonky? Yes. So let's play with a couple of different tools to make this fit. Okay.
We're going to rotate it.
I am. Let's try a couple of different ones. First of all, I'm going to go in and we're going to go to modify, and we're going to try the one hit wonder. We're going to use skew.
Okay.
And see what happens. And I'm going to hit the border skew. And we just made that fill the space perfectly. What do you think, Garla?
I love it.
I think it looks great.
One hit wonder to the rescue.
Absolutely. Okay. So we're going to come
and we baselined it.
And actually I did not baseline.
We're not baselining it again.
I'm not going to baseline it.
Because we don't have to roll it forward.
Yeah, because we don't have to do anything. So we're going to live on the edge here.
We're not living on the edge.
So I am going to, we're going to hold on to this end here. We're going to let this start stitching.
Are we still on slow?
No, this is
we're back to 25.
This is going to stitch not super fast. Because we want to be able to control what's going on here.
Okay. This is a membership download again.
And it's from a collection. So this is one that you could actually get in a whole collection.
This is one of the bundles that you can buy.
And this is where we're going to be able to decide, did we pick the right size for this?
We're going to find out in a minute.
We sure are. Okay, so we got to the end here, and we're going to just go ahead and clip that, and then we'll bring it back and let it stitch the next row.
This is it.
This is where I always get the question, could we set this up so that it would stitch back and forth? We sure could. We sure could.
That'll be another class.
Exactly. I was going to say
another video.
That's going to be the next time we do custom quilting.
Okay.
I'll show you guys, especially for a smaller space like this. It can be okay to do that. So how are you feeling about the scale on that, Garla? Are you feeling like that's a little big?
So I'm a tighter person.
Yeah.
I probably would have done 3/4 instead of the inch.
Yeah. Well, and I'm even thinking, so the inch is from here to here.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I wanted the inch to be from here to here.
Oh, you'd
realizing that, I think I would actually make it smaller, like
you'd go all the way to 1/2 inch. Okay.
But you know what though? Here's the thing. If you're doing a lot of tighter designs right around it, maybe you actually want the larger here for that central focus of the quilt. So it's something to consider. Remember, once again, one of the things that makes custom quilting feel really custom is varying the scale of the designs.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it might depend what we do on these butterfly wings, these bee wings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, let's talk about those bee wings while this is processing.
So the bee wings. So what do you want to do out there? Okay, so one thing is looking at the real quilt. We've got this. All of this out here is a dark background,
right? You have the white and the
white, and then the stripes.
I'm liking that channel look. I think it would be fun just to channel.
Absolutely.
Here and channel and channel and channel.
I think so.
channel in here and then put something fun in
Inside.
these wings.
You know what would be fun to do is actually do this design at a much smaller scale inside the designs.
You're talking
Okay,
about the
yes, we've got another question.
Remind people that this recording is available on YouTube.
Okay, so just a reminder again, because I know we're going to get this question, is this recording is going to live for forever on YouTube.
forever.
So if you go to Handy Quilter's YouTube channel, so if you just go to YouTube and search for Handy Quilter, and then if you look under the live section and look for the quilting bee, these are going to live there for forever. You'll be able to watch them over and over and over again. So absolutely. I think this is actually pretty cool. And I like that we've got this little bit of space between this. So it's consistent. And that's one of the keys here is you want to just be consistent throughout the entire quilt, and then it looks very purposeful.
And
that's
kind of another new concept for a beginner, widening the gap instead of narrowing the gap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Usually you are minusing the gap, making things, drawing things closer together. It's not often that we actually widen the gap. You're exactly right.
Okay, so we're liking this pattern. Could we try, we could do a channel line inside the swing.
Yeah.
And then let's make this the area.
Yeah.
And let's
make it really small.
Make it small.
Okay.
Let's
play with scale.
Can we X form it in there? How does that work?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Okay.
Would that
work? Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you guys how to do it. So, and this is actually going to be helpful that we did not baseline this, because what we'll do is we'll use this piece here. I'll show you guys how to use transform. I think that's a great. Garla, I like the way you're thinking. You're making us use all the tools here. And so we'll do it over here. So it's just a little bit easier for everybody to see.
Right. And we can stop now because we know how this is going to look.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to bore anybody.
But I think we're happy with how it's looking.
We're liking this. I probably would go with an inch. Okay.
So it's nice.
It's nice
because you had a chance to check that out.
Yeah.
So, okay. So if we take a look here at the Pro Stitcher screen, I'm going to show you guys. So remember, I did not baseline this. So I'm going to go back into modify, and I've skew selected, and I'm going to hit this no skew.
Okay.
So it's going to unskew that.
Right. Now we've got.
Now I'm going to baseline it.
We have a pure honeycomb.
So we're going to take and we're going to clear the area.
Okay.
And how about, you know what we're going to do?
Okay. What are we going to do?
I'm going to show you guys how to use an area instead of mark to accomplish the same thing.
Okay.
So we're going to set up an area. So we have the area tab selected, and then I'm going to use multi-point. So I'm going to use this button right here. And I am going to set up an exact or pretty darn exact area of this wing.
Right.
Okay. And we're going to stitch it out.
The area.
And then we're going to create a channel, and we're going to actually just resize the area to create that channel.
Yes, we are.
So we'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go like this. Okay, there we go. You guys can see that.
There's our
that wing there.
Beautiful wing.
That's our fabulous wing. So what we're going to do first is we're going to stitch this area. So I'm going to zoom to the area so you guys can see. This is a fun trick. So
did you see that button she pushed?
Oh, zoom to
the area.
It's right down there at the bottom. It just zooms into the area.
If you have all kinds of stuff on your screen, which we do, that just pulls up the area.
Just the area.
Okay.
So we're going to we went to the Pro Stitcher tab, and then we've got the quilt button selected here. And then this is very important. We're going to come down here and choose this trace area button right there. When trace area is selected and I hit run, the only thing that is going to stitch is the area. It's not going to stitch the design. So you guys watch this. My area is going to turn gold as it stitches out. And we're going to stitch that area.
Which is another way to stitch in the ditch.
It is. It's another way to stitch in the ditch. Yep. You can use mark or you can use area. And you can see that we're getting really great results here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So you drew really.
I'm really good at tracing.
I love it.
Here we go.
That one is the bee.
So if you pull up honeycomb edge to edge, when you go to buy it, it'll be in dark. It'll say the name of the collection, which is B collection.
The B collection, BEE collection.
And
Okay.
you get a whole bundle.
Yep. Okay, so we want to create the channels. So what we're going to do is use the area here, and we're just going to make the area a little bit smaller.
Oh,
So,
something new I don't know how to do.
Yep. So what we're going to do is select the area. I'm going to come over here and select the workspace tab in the sidebar. Okay. And then I'm going to touch area to select my area. And you guys can see that my area just turned green. That tells me that my area is selected.
Okay.
And now when I go to the modify tab up here on the ribbon, I can use these tools to change to modify my area.
Okay.
We want to resize it.
Yes.
Okay. We make sure that this lock is on. This is very important because we want to maintain the aspect. And we want to do like that 1/4 inch channel.
Yes.
And so when we come down here and look at my number right there, it's 6.99, so it's 7.
7.
So what I want to do is make it a 1/2 inch smaller. So I'm going to come here and do 6.5.
Yes.
Enter. And you guys see that my area just changed and it now has a dotted line around it. That tells me that it just got smaller. Okay.
Whatever. Or larger or whatever we
exactly. It's modified. It's modified. So to stitch out my area, now I'm going to go back to the Pro Stitcher tab. And once again, I'm going to do I'm going to select that trace area. Very important. And we're going to do run. And the machine is going to move over and we're going to go ahead and stitch out. And you guys are going to see here how it just sized in. And what's perfect about this is we're going to use this other design. I know it's another way to do channels. Isn't that cool? So this is another way to do channels, and what it's going to give us.
Oh, that didn't work.
Well, I'll explain a little something here, because this is something that I wanted to actually show you guys.
Okay.
Is when you're doing an irregular shape like this. Okay, when you size the area, you may find that you end up with a little something like this here. Let me flip these
but
sets.
today,
do you see
it's a design choice we've chosen.
Exactly. You can see here that it didn't really move in on that one. So there's ways that you can check that. And you can also, so maybe instead of sizing it down only 1/2 inch, size it down 1 inch. And then you can go in and do some checking.
And monkey it around.
One of the ways that you can check is you can move the machine on the screen to where those inside curves are, and you can see where they are, because you can always go in and adjust the placement of that area a little bit. But for right now, we're just going to leave it the way it is.
We're playing.
Because what we're going to do now is we're actually going to come here, and I am going to hit the home, and we're going to select our design.
Right.
And Garla wanted me to show you guys how to use the transform. So I am going to come here and do zoom to design.
Okay.
You guys can see my area there. I'm going to just scooch it over a little bit. And
boy, we got to get those honeycombs smaller.
I know we do. So we're going to come here and use transform.
Okay.
So transform is one of my select my workspace tools. And what it does is it puts all these little boxes around the design so that I can just grab these boxes and transform that design. Now you can see that it doesn't hold the aspect.
That's a problem.
Of the design. So this is one of those things that you need to decide, do you like what it's doing or not?
Probably not.
Okay.
That's too complicated for me.
Okay. If that is too complicated for you, then we're going to hit select. And we're going to go back here, and what we're going to do is clear this design. We don't want to clear the area because the area is exactly where we want it to be. So we're going to go to File, Close, and just select it. And it just closes the design.
Okay.
Then we're going to open that design again and start fresh. And so let's go Design, Honeycomb Edge to Edge. And let's play around. So we want this to be a smaller, really tight.
Really tight.
So maybe we only want it to be 1/2 inch tall. So let's go in to modify and resize and the height, and let's make it 0.25 tall. Okay, so that means that the space from the bottom of the honeycomb to the top of the honeycomb is going to be 1/2 inch. I think that's actually about the scale we want to have here.
Okay.
Then we're going to go into the repeat tab, and we're going to repeat this. So I'm going to pop back over to the modify tab and hit align.
Yeah, we need it in the
so
center.
that we're aligning to here so that you guys can see that a little bit better. And I'm going to make it, about like that.
Yep.
And then we're going to go in and do our vertical repeats. And you guys can see how tight this is going to be here, but it's going to be really cool. And you know what? I'm actually going to take a minute here.
Okay.
Let me do this.
And we're going to fix it first.
What we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to set this up so that it will stitch back and forth.
Yes.
This is small enough of an area that this should be
I
okay
wanted
to do.
to know this for an entire year.
So what you do is you do the initial repeat like this, and we make sure that it is large enough to completely cover the area.
It will cover the area.
Which it is. So we are going to come in here. We're going to go to edit. Edit is your important tool here. And then we're going to hit this duplicate button. And it just gave me a second one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do repeat. Okay, let's go like this.
Okay,
There
it's clear up there.
Yep, it's clear up there.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is go to modify, align, and then I'm going to do vertical and center horizontally. Okay, the first
now
one.
they're matching.
Yep. Now the second one here, I'm going to move it up here. Oops, undo, because I want to keep that where it is. I need to make sure that I've got my, okay, we're going to use reposition.
So we've repeated our second one. We align to the top.
Yep.
Okay.
And then what we need to do is get this one lined up where it needs to be. And what I actually need to do, I should have.
Now we've got to do the wrap.
This is going to feel a little weird, but just go with me on this one. Horizontal. I'm going to do a second repeat.
Okay.
On that one. Okay. Because we need that offset. Now I'm going to go back to modify, and using reposition, I am going to scooch this one over
manually
so that it is lined up where it needs to be. And then I'm going to scooch it up. Once again, I'm still going to leave that little bit of space between the two lines.
Right. We like that.
Yep.
That look.
Then we are going to swap because I need to have the start point of the second row on the right-hand side. And then the start point, if I go here to workspace, the start of my first row is on the left-hand side.
Perfect. So
and this
our
way it'll go back and forth.
Is next to our green dot.
Exactly. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to hit select none, and then I need to do multi-select.
Okay.
And I need to do these in the order that they're in the stitch order. So the copy of the repeat is the one
on
at
the
top. And then the repeat honeycomb is the one at the bottom.
Right. Now we've got them both.
Hang on a second. I skipped a step here, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh, this is why we have to watch this
so
over
we're going to
again.
do this repeat honeycomb, and we had the swap, and it's very important. You have to baseline that.
Okay.
Before you start doing the repeat.
Okay. Baseline
so we're going to go back and do the copy and then the repeat honeycomb.
Okay.
And now do you see that I've got
a jump stitch going from?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. I'm going to baseline that.
Okay. So this is our second baseline.
Yep. Then we're going to go in and repeat this vertically the rest of the way through here.
This is going to be a moment that you want to have saved. I probably will watch myself now on video so I can remember how to do this.
Okay, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to align, and I'm going to align this before I crop it.
Beautiful.
So that it is centered over. But you guys can see how that completely fills the space. It looks really great.
And it's going to, okay. Do you do that with simple edge to edges too?
I don't do it for entire quilts. I do it in small areas like
small areas only.
Because stitching right to left in small areas like this, chances are we aren't going to have any issues.
No, we're not.
Okay. So the last thing to do is to go in and crop the outside, and we are going to close the edges because there's not going to be any overstitching there.
Okay.
Just to give you guys a really quick, if I go in here and turn off my area, you can see that that is what it's going to stitch. And remember, we have already stitched the outline of this area. Yep.
To rescue us.
Okay. So let's go in and do some stitching on this. But first of all, because this is very small, we're going to go in and do stitches per inch. I'm going to take this up to 14. And I'm also going to come in here and I'm going to speed up my cruise, because I want to make sure that I've got really good stitches all the way through this.
325.
325.
I've never gone above 150.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do some stitching here and show you guys what is going to happen here. Okay. We need to do a quick reposition because that is not where it should be. Okay. We moved to the area. So
Easy fix.
I am going to area here and that area. Oops, not that.
We didn't baseline. Do we need to baseline?
No, because we're gonna
No baseline.
we're gonna move it. It'll be just fine here. What we're gonna do is select the area, and then we're gonna move the area. If I can get my area to. We're gonna go in and use modify reposition.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for indulging with me, ladies, over there. They're getting sleepy. Okay. You're gonna be loving this when you get to this step that we did this. Because going back and forth is gonna save us so much time having to,
especially for something small like this. Okay, so we've got our area back in the correct position now.
yes.
And then what we're going to do is in the workspace, I'm going to get my merged group and I'm going to use my align again to the center. And then everything's lined up the way it'll be. I will go ahead and baseline this now. If I was actually stitching this out on a quilt and I was going to use it on this one and then on that one over there, I would not baseline between the two.
No.
So that
you would
can
save it before you baseline it.
Yes.
So you could flip it
Absolutely.
the other mirror the other direction.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
You are exactly right.
Okay.
Okay.
I've learned a lot about when not to use baseline today.
Yeah.
That's a first.
When that is part of the trick, is learning when to use baseline and when not to. Okay. And here's our first stitch back and stitch over. And you guys can see that we are just stitching back and forth. And for this smaller design, it works really well. Isn't that fun?
That's going to be so cute. Okay, what color am I going to do it in?
So on those wings, with the fabric you have, I would probably, you know what? I would probably do it in like the micro quilter in the yellow or in a gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't I increase? Okay, so the question is, why do I increase the speed? So I increase the speed on the cruise so that we can make sure and get every single stitch in here. And especially, even though this design has kind of a corner, it's a rounded corner.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that those corners were nice and tight.
So if my corners aren't tight, I'm slowing down my speed and I should be putting it faster.
If you increase the cruise, it will actually
light bulb above my head.
Yep.
Brianne, can you put a light bulb above my head? Okay. All right. Well, we've got this conquered.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Okay. What are we doing over here?
I don't know.
Okay,
How much time do we have left?
We're running out of time.
That's our, yeah. Okay. So everybody's seeing what we're doing there. And you guys are seeing how cool that is.
That is the coolest.
Is that so that's how you do something like that.
That is spectacular.
So something really fun.
And it is hard to wrap my brain around. You can make things that small.
Oh yeah. And that's, you know what, I think this is one of the things that, especially when you're custom quilting with Pro Stitcher, that people forget. There's a real tendency that when you bring a design in, people think, oh, that's the size I have to quilt it at. No. There's a reason why there's a resize under modify. It's so you can change the size of anything.
Right. And look, this doesn't bother me as much now because we've added that dimension over there.
And how fun is it to actually have the same design in two different scales? And, you know, if you were quilting this behind this panel here and you were quilting that with the monopoly, or you were quilting it with like the yellow micro quilter like we did up here, all it would do is create a cool texture. And it's the same thing here. It lets the fabric, the fun fabric that you have, really pop there.
Yes.
But because you have the difference in density, it's going to make, it gives people's eyes something to travel back and forth between. And that's part of what makes custom quilting really pop.
Right. Very cool. And I'm seeing with these lines here,
Yeah.
I can put my loops here and I'll still be happy.
Yes. Yes, you can absolutely do the loops in here.
Yes.
And especially if you have all of this stitch in the ditch and these channels around
yes.
it's going to frame everything and really make it
Right.
pop. You have a lot of straight line quilting. So if you put curved lines in here, it's going to create that
It's gonna
difference.
be great.
And it'll look really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love this though for those wings.
That really is good.
It really is fun. So I know that one of the last things you wanted to do was really look at what to do in these flowers.
Yes.
So
There's 4 of them.
what was I know
Okay,
that you had an
My
idea.
original plan.
Mhm.
All right. Remember, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I was just going to but see, that's not fun.
So you wanted to do something like that in here.
Yeah, because I'm learning.
So I actually think it would be really fun to do these with some kind of free motion quilting.
Yes, of course.
You brave? Are you brave? But to just come up and do kind of some
Kim,
free
what are you doing
form
today? Can you come
leaves.
over to my house and
Well, I'm going to be like, no, just come to Handy Quilter for the day, and we'll quilt together.
quilt?
So we could do something like that. You could also follow a lot of what you're doing here, where all of your curves and lines are inside the blocks. And maybe with this, you do some of that echo quilting, meaning you create some channels. You do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's some of both. I'm just looking at what's on the finished product quilt. I think especially on the stem here and the leaves, maybe doing a little bit of an echo is a great way to do it.
Okay.
And then you could do some kind of a fun background fill around it to really make it pop.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe trying and doing some more of that stipple
Yes.
or with a little loop around this would be really cute.
And just to let you know, Pro Stitcher has amazing stipple program. So if you can't stipple as a perfectionist, as a free motioner, just pull that stipple.
You absolutely can. Yeah, there's a great,
I like that idea.
There's a great stipple.
Okay.
And one of the things you could do if you wanted to do a stipple around this from the background is to set up an area. And then when you stitch it out, don't close your edges, because that way you don't get any overstitching.
No close your edges.
And then be sure and do your stitch in the ditch around it, and it will make it really pop.
Absolutely.
So
okay, that's conquered and that's conquered. Wow.
Do you feel like you've got what you were looking for today?
Wow. This is amazing. Plus it's given me a whole new world of custom quilting.
Yeah. And it's not hard,
because you can see what it's going to take to make it worth my time to custom quilt.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Way cool.
I always like to remind people, custom quilting is not difficult. It just takes more time. You just have to slow down. And whether you're doing free motion, so pretty much everything we've got here, you could do with rulers, stencils, or just free motion quilting.
Right.
We've shown you guys alternatives there. You can do that free motion or with Pro Stitcher. It definitely takes more time to do than finishing a quilt with an edge to edge. So it's just that matter of the handout that we talked about earlier, the how do I quilt it, going through that and determining what your quilting budget is. Whether that's you're quilting it yourself, and so you need to ask yourself, how much time do I want to spend on this quilt? Or if you are paying somebody to custom quilt it for you, what's your budget there?
Right.
So yeah, there's lots of good stuff. So the question is, why did Garla choose an Amara 24? So we've got an Amara 20 here on the the Studio 2 frame. The Amara 20 has a 20-inch throat space.
Right.
But you bought your first machine, you're like, go big or go home. So you chose the big sister, which is the Amara 24 on the gallery frame.
Right.
So it's 24 inches of throat space. So what made you choose that?
Well, it's I had no clue what I was doing. Let's be honest. But when I got to Academy, I made friends with the most amazing women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still communicate now.
That's awesome.
And they were so helpful to me. And they said, if you can, go 24.
Yeah.
24 is good for like edge to edge.
Yeah.
Now, if I was going to be only free motion, I think a 20 would have been fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can't really reach more than that.
No, your best quality quilting is really done in like the 12 inches of quilting space that is closest to you, unless if you are somebody who has incredibly long arms.
Right.
So if you are going to be just doing free motion, I shouldn't say just, if you're going to focus on doing free motion, an MR 20 is great. But like you said, having the Pro Stitcher, you could take advantage of that extra 4 inches of throat space. You don't have to advance your quilt as often.
But even a Moxy, get a long arm.
Yeah.
Start. Get what you can.
Absolutely.
Because Pro Stitcher Lite is a very strong software.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can do all the things that we showed you today.
Yes.
In Pro Stitcher Lite.
Right.
We didn't do anything here that was not achievable.
So I would say that's the biggest mistake I made. I should have bought it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I really should have.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wait.
And I'm blaming it all on Brienne.
Well, Brienne didn't have a good connection for you 5 years
That's right.
ago, so.
She should have started her job earlier.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you guys, we just got the heads up. It is time to do the Moxy giveaway. So we just want to say thank you to everybody who did enter to win at Houston and then also online over the last few days. So the lucky winner here is going to be receiving a Moxy on a loft frame. Wow. We'll be reaching out to you. So that's an 8-foot frame. I'm so excited for this person to begin their journey. So, all right. Big old drum roll. And the winner of the Moxy drawing is Nelda Dampier. I hope I'm saying your name right, Nelda. So congratulations, Nelda. I am so excited for you to begin your long arming journey with a Moxy. So be looking for an email that'll be coming to you from Handy Quilter. And we will give you information on that, and we'll be getting that shipped out to you really shortly here. So congratulations to Nelda and to Randy Vincent, who won the Stitch 310 earlier. Oh, that was so much fun. I think it's my favorite thing in the world to do.
And we need some videos. When you get those, you've got to post some videos on Facebook or social media.
Absolutely.
So you can share that thrill with the rest of us.
I know. It is so, so exciting. Well, I think that kind of wraps things up for today. Can you believe we're done?
I can't believe
just went by in a snap.
Like that.
That was so amazing. Well, we just want to remind you guys once again, you will absolutely be able to watch this video again and again and again. What you need to do is visit the Handy Quilter YouTube channel. So just search Handy Quilter YouTube channel. It'll come up, and this will be available for here until who knows, I mean,
right.
We're going to say eternity. The lifetime of YouTube. It will be available under the live section at the Handy Quilter channel. Be sure to reach out if you have questions about purchasing a long arm or upgrading your long arm. Just a reminder that right now is our very best prices of the year. We're still having our Houston Quilt Festival promo is going on. So we've got great prices. You can email us at hqcares@handyquilter.com for information if you want to trade up or if you're interested in purchasing a machine. You can also go to the Handy Quilter website and look up use our retailer locator tool to help you find who is your closest retailer so that you can go in and give a long arm a test drive. I just want to say thank you again to Garla. Thank you so much for coming and quilting today. This was so much fun. It's been so long since I've been able to spend a whole day quilting. It's been absolutely fantastic. I want to say thank you so much to all of you for joining us today, and have fun quilting. We'll see you.